Ever get that feeling that there's maybe more going on than what we just, like the struggle? Maybe they're tied to something. Or a kind of fundamental misunderstanding about, well, welcome to this dive. We've set this up especially to learn. You're someone who likes to get into complex ideas, get the core of them, but, without feeling overwhelmed. And that's work today. The source we're looking at today is, it's a transcript from a YouTube channel. The video is titled, "The Matrix in Spirituality Escaping." Now, hold on, forget the movie for a second. This isn't about Neo or agents. It's using Matrix in a different way, a spiritual, looking at the nature of. So our mission is basically unpack the key ideas from this transcript. What is this controlled illusion they talk about, and how might someone supposedly awaken from it? We'll pull out the main concepts and, see how they might connect with your own search for knowledge.
Yeah, and what really jumps out right away in this transcript is this core idea that our everyday reality, well, it might not be the whole story. It suggests that what we experience is essentially a controlled illusion. And maybe even our thoughts aren't entirely ours, shaped by some kind of larger system. Right? It brings up this concept of the matrix of life. And the really interesting part is that our struggles, our efforts, they could actually be what keeps us stuck in it. The transcript argues that the world isn't really as it is, but more like how we've been programmed maybe to see it.
Okay, let's really dig into that controlled illusion idea, because they're clear, right? It's not wires and pods like the movie. They describe it as being made of, what was it? Frequencies, filters, and forgotten truths.
Exactly.
An energetic construct built on vibration, perception, and memory. So when they talk about frequencies and vibration, what does that actually mean here? Is it like our general mood, our thoughts influencing things?
That's a good way to start thinking about it, yeah. Think about radio waves. They're everywhere, but your radio only plays the station it's tuned to, right? So the transcript uses a similar analogy. It suggests our DNA, human DNA, acts like a kind of receiver, but it's tuned to a really narrow frequency band.
Ah, okay. Limited bandwidth.
Precisely. And this limited tuning, according to this view, is what restricts our perception. And because perception is limited, so is the knowledge and understanding we can access. So the feeling of being, trapped. It isn't physical. It's more about the limits of what we can perceive or even conceive of.
Right. And this is where it gets pretty wild, really thought-provoking. The transcript then says this matrix actively feeds on our emotions.
Yeah.
Both the good stuff, like joy, and the harder stuff, fear, heartbreak, all of it. This energy is supposedly harvested. They even call it luch, or suffering currency.
Suffering currency or fuel.
How is that supposed to work? What's the mechanism they're suggesting for this energy harvesting?
Well, the transcript suggests it's linked to these cycles of hope and despair we get caught in. Think about, always striving for the next thing, chasing goals, trying to get somewhere else.
Okay.
According to this perspective, that constant striving keeps us focused outward or on the future, stops us from just being here now. And this constant churn of emotion, the ups of chasing desires, the downs of fears and failures, that's apparently what the system, feeds on. And it also argues the prison isn't physical walls. It's more subtle. It's built from, agreements we make without realizing. Our belief in linear time, for instance, or the constant struggle to succeed externally, even maybe our need to always be fixing ourselves, finding flaws.
So things we think of as totally normal parts of life, our schedules, getting a paycheck, looking in the mirror and critiquing, these aren't just neutral things. They could be like the actual structures keeping this illusion going.
That's the implication, yeah.
It's like the transcript is saying the system cleverly hid the bars of the cage in plain sight in our everyday routines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It suggests these ordinary things become the constraints when we just accept them without question.
Yeah.
When we invest our belief fully in them. It's apparently when we start noticing these patterns, maybe feeling that deeper sense of understanding, that the illusion starts to lose its power. We start to remember a state before we were so bound by these systems.
And then there's this other layer, the architects. They're mentioned as being behind the matrix, not human, it says, something ancient, kind of woven into how we see things.
Right.
And they don't rule by force, but by suggestion, using things like money, debt, desire, even religion, all to keep our focus pointed outwards.
Yeah, that outward focus seems key here. It's about diverting our attention. If we're always chasing external goals, seeking validation from outside ourselves, our energy, our focus stays out there.
Right.
So the transcript warns against just blindly trusting these external systems. It suggests they're kind of designed to capture and direct our attention, which in turn fuels this whole matrix setup. It even makes the point that awakening itself can become, commodified, another thing to buy, another external fix.
Another product.
Right, which keeps us in that same loop of seeking answers outside. The idea seems to be that real change, the kind that dismantles this control, has to come from an internal shift in awareness.
And it goes Further, saying the crises, the fears we see, it's almost like a show, a theater.
A theater.
Designed to keep us busy, reacting, running in circles so we never stop and question the stage itself. It sounds like this outer world trap looks like freedom, but it's really distraction.
That's a good summary of it. A sophisticated distraction from our inner potential. And the way out, according to this, isn't fighting the external stuff head on. It's more about an inner transformation. It talks about becoming a code reeker.
A code reeker.
Yeah. But not by force. It's about remembering, it says, that the code, the rules of your reality were always yours to begin with. It suggests reclaiming something innate rather than battling some outside force.
This remembering idea is really interesting. The transcript suggests our identities like my name, your job, our nationality. These are like overlays, roles we play that kind of keep our deeper power switched off, dormant. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you woke up tomorrow with a totally different backstory, would the core you still feel the same?
It really challenges that fixed sense of self.
Yeah.
It does. The transcript basically posits that our identity is mostly constructed, not some fixed truth. And the Matrix kind of feeds on that belief in limits, keeping our awareness stuck within those self-drawn lines. But when we start to see past the labels, the stories, we apparently start connecting with something more fundamental, the underlying source code, you could say.
And that's when reality starts to feel less rigid, more malleable.
Exactly. And this malleability, this ability to shift things, it's tied to frequency, not like grinding effort. That's a key point. It says your energy is the cursor of creation.
Wow.
Implying that our basic state of being, our vibration, is what shapes our experience. So low frequencies, fear, anger, despair, they keep us locked in the old program. But higher frequencies, things like peace, stillness, gratitude, they supposedly have the power to actually change the simulation.
Like tuning a radio to a different station, a different reality channel.
That's a great analogy for it.
Yeah.
And the transcript emphasizes that real awakening isn't about slowly learning more things or achieving more goals. It's described as an instant shift of state.
Instant how?
By becoming less conditioned, less attached to all the noise and distractions of the simulation. It's like shedding layers of programming. And that allows us to rewrite our experience by tuning cleaner to those higher frequencies. It even suggests every belief, every expectation we hold is like casting a spell on the world, shaping our reality.
A spell. Okay. So, stepping back from all the chaos and illusion talk for a moment, the transcript does hint at something else, right? An underlying order.
It does, yeah. A rhythm and sequence behind it all, even if we don't always see it. It mentions things like sacred geometry, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci spiral.
Right, those mathematical patterns you see in nature.
Yeah.
What's their significance here in a spiritual matrix context?
Well, the fascinating idea is that what seems random might just be a pattern that's too complex for us to grasp right now. The transcript uses this beautiful phrase, the universe is code written in light, suggesting an inherent intelligence, a structure. It presents life as this dance between soul and structure. And it suggests that maybe ideas like luck, coincidence, chaos, maybe they were promoted to kind of hide these deeper patterns.
Keep us feeling like victims of randomness.
Perhaps. So recognizing these underlying rhythms could shift our view from feeling tossed around by external forces to understanding ourselves as part of a larger, ordered, meaningful system.
And it takes that idea of our role even further, doesn't it?
Right.
Suggesting we're not just pieces on the board,
Right.
but maybe the ones actually writing the rules on some fundamental level. That's a pretty empowering thought.
It really tackles that free will question within this whole framework. It says, look, you might not control every external event that happens to you.
Yeah, obviously.
But you always, always get to choose your internal tone, your response. Do you react with suffering, resistance, or with acceptance, awakening? Do you choose delay or remembrance?
Sailing the stars within the script. I like that metaphor.
Your choices in navigating the script are still yours.
It also brings up the mandala image, that symbol of hidden order within chaos.
Yeah, a beautiful way to picture it. Interconnectedness, harmony underneath.
And the core message feels like the universe isn't against us, it's actually becoming us. That implies a really deep connection.
A very intimate relationship with reality, yeah. Then the transcript sketches out two possible paths after the matrix dissolves for someone. One is called minimalism, which is about stripping away all the illusions, letting go of roles, wants, attachments, until only pure awareness is left.
Just pure being.
Kind of. The other path is maximalism, which is more about embracing your power as a cosmic architect, consciously shaping reality using intention, remembering you are the universe dreaming itself.
Wow, those sound intense. Different, but intense.
Very. And it notes that both paths require mastering your own energy and having real clarity of intention. It also mentions a choice you might face then. Do you keep interacting with people still, asleep in the matrix? Or do you fully exit that shared reality?
That sounds like a heavy decision. A real fork in the road.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the transcript circles back to the core idea. The matrix wasn't just external. It was woven within us, in our thoughts, our memories, our very sense of who we are.
Disguised as identity.
Exactly. And it collapses, it says, when we stop feeding, stop giving it our belief, our energy.
So the goal isn't to fight it or fix the illusion.
No, it's simply to see through it, to recognize it for what it is, impermanent, constructed, that stillness, that presence inside. The transcript suggests it was never asleep. It was always there, patiently observing underneath all the conditioned noise. Transcendence, then, isn't about effort or force. It comes through vibration and recognition, shifting your state, recognizing your true nature. That leads to lucidity, being awake within the dream, and maybe even starting to shape it. It hints that people might take different roles after awakening, too. Some might be like bridges or messengers. Others might just dissolve back into that infinite awareness.
Bridges, messengers, or just merging back. Interesting possibilities.
And that final thought is really aimed right at you, the listener, the learner. You were never trapped. You were only dreaming.
Only dreaming. Yeah, that definitely reframes things. Liberating, maybe, but also unsettling.
It's a lot to chew on.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the key takeaways from this dive into the spiritual matrix idea. We've got this compelling concept of our perceived reality as a controlled. There's the idea that our emotional energy might be unknowingly fueling the system. And then the really empowering part, the possibility of awakening not through struggle, but by shifting our perception, our internal vibration.
Right. It really highlights the power that supposedly resides within each of us, the potential to become conscious code readers of our own reality.
So for you, the learner, as you continue exploring ideas, just consider how this framework might land. How could this perspective maybe shift how you view your own perception, your belief, the challenges you face?
Yeah, what parts of this resonate? What part feel, difficult or provocative? It's worth reflecting on.
And here's a final thought. What if the limits abound? What if they aren't solid wall? What if they're current aware, inviting? Think about what reality. Thanks